Awesome. So our next session, I will have two amazing speakers and they will talk about Fluent UI Blazor components. Let me introduce you, Vincent and Dennis. Hi, Vincent. Hi, Dennis.
Hello.
Hello, and Vincent, you're on mute as well, just like me.
Safety first. Hi. Hello.
All good. Excited for your session. Just, I think in the moment, there are discussions about Fluent UI in the chat as well. So looking forward to hearing more about your session. Take it over, please.
All right. So hello, everyone. My name is Vincent Bai, and I have today with me my partner in crime, Denise. We're excited to be here today and to show you how you can use Fluent UI Blazor library to build Blazor applications with a modern look and feel. If you've seen the .NET Aspire announcement the other day here at .NET Conf and wondered how that dashboard was built, well, this is the library that powers its UI. So if you want to learn more, stay tuned. I'm a cloud solution architect at Microsoft by day and principal maintainer of this library by night. Dennis, can you introduce yourself and walk us through the agenda for today?
Yes, thank you, Vincent. Hello, and thank you for joining us for this session on Fluent UI and Blazor. As you can hear, English is not my native language, but I hope I will not make too many mistakes. Sometimes I create new words, so maybe. I'm Denis Voituron, software engineer at Microsoft, and also principal maintainer of this open source project. So today, yesterday, we released the version 4 of the Fluent UI library. It's now included in the Microsoft Fluent UI ASP.NET Core namespace. The demo and the documentation are available on this website, fluentui-blazor.net. And in just few minutes, we are going to recreate the default template offered by Blazor using the new Fluent UI components. So our goal is to show just a few of possibilities available in this library. At the end of this session, we will receive a link to the source code if you want to do the demo yourself. So the agenda for today is to present what is Fluent, how to install this library, and how to build a demo with some of these some components. But Vincent, can you explain what is Fluent UI?
Yeah, so Fluent is Microsoft's open source cross-platform design system that gives designers and developers the framework that they need to create engaging product experiences where accessibility, internationalization, and performance are included out of the box. This is a design system that is the foundation of the look and feel of Windows 11, but also of all the other modern applications like Word and Outlook and Teams. So the Fluent UI web components are an implementation of this design system, and they are built on the FAST technology stack. Let's start with web components. This is an umbrella term that refers to a collection of web standards that are focused on enabling the creation of custom HTML elements, just like a title or a P or a div that you already know. Now, FAST is a collection of technology which uses these modern web standards as well, and allows and enables developers to build those web components. And then finally, we have our library, which is one, a Blazor wrapper around these web components, these Fluent web components, and two, it's a set of other components and tools that just make it easier to work with Fluent inside Blazor applications. So let's get going, Dennis, and create this demo. Where do we start?
Yes, I think that's finished about the slides. Now we can go to the first step. I would like, for example, with you to create a new project from scratch. So I can go to Visual Studio. And the first step is to create a new project. So File, New. I select, of course, the Blazor web app template. The first step is to define the name. I select Demo Fluent UI. I go to the next step. And in this step, the main important thing on this demo is to not include the simple pages, because, of course, that's the goal of this presentation is to create some sample page. So I would like to create a demo like that. And when the project will be there, the single and the first step to do is to add a new NuGet package. The package I would like to include there if I select the all Engage packages feeds. So I would like to select the Microsoft Fluent UI ASP.NET Core, and the first template I would like to use there is the Fluent ASP.NET Core components. So I just install this package, and also the component.icons package, because we would like also to add some icons in our project. So, but now we have the packages installed. Vincent, can you add a page layout maybe with a header, for example, header, body, and footer?
Yeah. Indeed, because if we would be running this application now, we've just installed the packages, so it's going to be quite empty. So if we can switch to my screen now, then I can show you the next steps. So first things first, of course, in the imports.razor file, we want to enable this library. So we'll just uncomment this line and make all the components that are in this namespace available to all the Razor pages that we have. Then there are some services that we provide out of our library, and to make it easier to include those, we can add this extension to the program.cs and make these services available to the DI container, and thereby making them available in all the other pages as well. So we'll just uncomment this add Fluent UI components. There's no need to add scripts or CSS or anything. We take care of inserting that into the right positions inside the application especially by starting up Blazor and starting up our library. And then finally, we go to the main layout page where we just want to include this layout. So like I said, we wrap all the web components that are there, but we have also got these kind of helper and utility components. The Fluent layout is one of them, and it has inside of it a header component and a body content and a footer, etc. And yeah, this is basically all that is needed to get the application up and running. So now if I compile this and I go to my browser screen, it should be starting up. By the way, we're using Blazor Server in this case. And there you have it. You can see that this header has been applied, footer is there. We have the menu inside of there. The counter and the weather are already there, but we haven't implemented those pages yet, so I won't click on them. And yeah, all the styling, loading of the components, etc., has been taken care of with this step. Now, I said already a counter page. What would a Blazor demo be without a counter page? So Dennis, can you add this and spice up the application a little bit?
Yes, sir. So if you can switch to my screen, sorry. So yes, what will be really nice is maybe on this left menu is, for example, to add few icons in front of each menu item. Fortunately, we have included, if I go to the demo website, to the documentation Fluent UI-Blazor.net, on the icon page, for example, you have an icon explorer where it's possible to search on many icons. So, for example, I would like to add for the first item menu, I would like to add an icon like that, or it's possible also to add an icon like that, for example. So you have also the possibility to click on this icon, the copy to clipboard icon, and so automatically the code you need to use and you need to include in your project will be in your clipboard. And so you can go to the Visual Studio, and for example, there you have the nav link created by Vincent some minutes ago. I just add another property, another attribute icon to specify which icon I would like to add to my menu item. So like that, for example, oops, okay. And if I run the code, the same control created, you will have now the icon in front of each item. Where is it? Okay, let's go. It's there. So you have the icon there. But as you said, Vincent, the goal of our project is also to have a counter page. In the Blazor project, we have this page. So I can go to my Visual Studio page, Visual Studio project. I can open the counter.razor page, and that's a classic Razor page where I added a Fluent label. So that's a label, a default label, where I can specify the type of typography I would like to display. So for example, the page title in this case to display the counter like that. Also the Fluent label with no default, with no value for the typo attribute. So that's the default representation of the label. Yep. And also a button, click me. With the button, I'm selecting the accent color. So you have the possibility to display many type of, this one, many type of color. For example, the accent is this one or this one. And so also when you click on the increment on this button, the increment count method will be executed, and automatically, of course, this part of code will be executed also. And so if I come back there, in the counter page, I can click on this page and display automatically the view and the counter associated. But Vincent, is it so easy to add a weather page? We have the weather page there, but it's empty at this moment. So how can you add the page in our demo project?
Yeah, so let's switch back to my screen and pick up where you left, because like we said, we're going to rebuild the demo, the standard Blazor demo. So we need the weather page as well. And for this step, we've already added it, but we've, of course, made it fluent. So that means you'll see the same labels that Dennis already discussed earlier. We use that for the page title, but we also used a Fluent progress ping, so not just showing the text loading that you know from the streaming rendering demos that we've seen, etc. But now we use that nice animated ring. And also, we're not just showing an HTML table, but we're actually inserting the Fluent data grid here. And the Fluent data grid is basically a quick grid copy. Dan and Steve announced that it's now part of .NET 8. We have it in the Fluent library as well. And we've added some extras there, like resizing of the columns and some row and column styling that can be applied by using some functions. But for now, we'll just use it like this. And one of the other things that we can do here in this grid is that we can now also use those icons that Dennis already mentioned. He already installed that NuGet package, so there's nothing stopping us from adding those here as well. So we can add a template column, and based on the temperature that we get back from the code, we can then display an icon in the table as well. The rest of the code on this page is completely the same as what you get with the standard template. No changes there. So we basically only changed the UI and the presentation. So let's run that again. It has built. And now I can switch to the weather page here. And you saw that loading spinner go on the page. That's an artificial kind of delay that we've built in, simulating some web service that we're calling. And we now have this Fluent data grid on the page, where things like sorting are, of course, enabled. Like I said, we also have resizing capabilities, and we added this template column here with the icons in it. So it already starts to look a little bit nicer and more polished. Now, we're already kind of basically done with rebuilding the demo. So let's see if we can spice it up a little bit more. And for example, add a registration form to this site. Like you see on many sites, maybe subscribe to a newsletter or something like that. So we've already, in this step, added this code, and we added this register page. And here, if I open that up, you can see that it's using that familiar components that we already saw, but also introducing some new ones. Basically, all the import components that you know from the standard Blazor library, but then also in a Fluent look and feel. So we have a big number of components for these input fields available. Also some that are not in the standard library, like the date picker, for example, and Dennis will show some others as well later on. Some other interesting things here, not really from the code perspective. So let's indeed also just run this one and see what it does on the front end. Of course, before I show it, it would be handy if we enable it in the menu as well, so that we can more easily navigate to this page. And then after we've compiled it, we have this registration page now available in the site. So the date component, of course, shows the familiar calendar that we all know. We can also type text ourselves here. We can just fill it in with the browser tools that are there. And one special thing here, for example, is a different kind of button, where once I have agreed to all these terms and conditions, and I would say create an account, which again simulates calling a web service or something like that, you can see that we have a loading button. So it displays a spinner while it's uploading and prevents us from doing multiple posts at the same time. So that's basically a registration form done. But Denis, I think we can do one better.
Yeah, we can improve this registry form. Can you switch to my screen? Yes, thank you. So the idea now is, for example, what if we added a country field to this form, but something very attractive for the user? And for the demo, we would like to add, for example, a Fluent autocomplete component to have the list of countries, and the user need to select the country in the list. So to do that, of course, in the code, we need to add a country.cs file to have the list of all available countries in the world. And I added also another property, HTML flag and name. This property is only to display the flag, the image of the country, and also to display the name of this country. And using this class, this country class, I go to the form, and I can uncomment this part to add the Fluent autocomplete component. The Fluent autocomplete component, it's easy to use because you need to specify the type you would like to add to the list. For example, there, the country class, and also the possibility to specify which method will be raised when you need to search something. For example, there, that's the onSearchAsync method. So the method is there, and the method is only to select in the whole list of countries, in the list of all countries, to select which countries you want to specify, you want to have on the screen using the start with. So when the user writes some character, automatically the countries associated to this type of character will be displayed in the list. And of course, also, I need to specify a variable in my object, in my register user object, a variable to store the countries. Yes, the name, I think it's not the correct name, but I save that in the language variable, but that will be the country selected by the user. And so in the Fluent autocomplete component, you have also the possibility to specify the maximum number, the number of maximum items you would like to display. So in this case, for example, only one country. If the user would like to select more of that, automatically a message, please select only one country, will be displayed. So I can run this part of code. And if I come back there, I know I have the autocomplete there, a list. So I can specify and can select in the list which country I would like to display. But I can also select Belgium, or I can also select not another one, but I can select, for example, Netherlands in this list. So that's interesting to complete the form like that. But another thing interesting maybe for you, Vincent, is to have the possibility to add the theme, for example, in the page. So, for example, to switch to a dark theme or to change the color, because everything there is blue, is in blue. But that will be that will be great to have that in green or in yellow. Or I don't know how to do that.
Yeah. So yeah, let's switch back to my screen and see how we can do that. Because like Danny said, every modern app or self-respecting app has theme switching capabilities. So we offer that out of the box with the Fluent UI library as well. And the means that we use to reach that is by using design tokens. And design tokens are a means to express design abstractions like typography and colors and spacing units, etc. So the Fluent UI web component library comes with a very, very large set of design tokens out of the box. And we implemented all of those in the Fluent UI library on the Blazor side as well. By using the service extension that we mentioned earlier, it's already all set up to use. So the only thing that we need to do is go to the home page in this case. It could be a settings dialog or whatever, but now for the sake of making it easy, we're just doing it on the home page. We say we use the design tokens using to expose all the functionality in our programming code. And we inject two design tokens, in this case, the base layer luminance and the accent base color. The luminance is the dark or light theme that is being used on the site. And the accent base color is all the, up until now, blue accents that we saw on the page. So we add some components here to make it easier to switch from a theme or color. And we also add some code to actually apply those design tokens to the site. And to apply them, we just call this a with default method with the new value that we want to use for that specific design token. So in this case, we can set the base color or the luminance. And after having done that, we can compile this and go to the site again. And now if we switch to the home page, we'll see that we have two more settings available, one for the color and one for the theme. Out of the box, we come with an enumeration that has all, or at least a lot of the standard Office colors available out of the box. So for example, we could go here to the standard Office color, and you can see that everything that has an accent is automatically then applied and uses this new red color. So it's not just the header, but it's also the accent color for the icons and the indicator here for the bar which page is active. But you'll also see that it's now being used as the accent button color. So by just applying that one with default method, the whole site has been updated to use this color. Very powerful, we think. The same goes for the theme. So with now switching this, I can make this whole site go and use dark mode out of the, with just, again, this one call. So it's very easy to update your site and applications and offer this functionality. Now, we, out of the box, don't supply any functionality to store these values between sessions because we don't want to impose any specific choices that we make. But of course, you can use local storage or cookies or whatever to make those settings persistent if you want. So Dennis, we already made the form a little bit better and easier. Can we do some more on the creating of the account, like give some feedback to the user that it actually succeeded in creating the account?
Yes, indeed. At this moment, I think that will be interesting to finalize this form, and it will be a good idea, as you say, to let the user know that we have saved his request. So, for example, we can easily add a dialog box to confirm the registration.
All right,
so can you
let's switch back to your screen.
Yeah, thank you. So, for example, there, if the user click on the create account, the process is running, but there are nothing else after that. Just one thing, I had it automatically. I updated the code to add John Smith because it's to avoid to enter each time the value there for the demonstration, because you need to enter the required field each time. So that's better, and that will be easier like that. So if I come back to the code, so if I would like now to add a dialog box. So the first thing is to add to the main layout page, and at the end of the page to include a Fluent Dialog Provider tag, a Fluent Dialog Provider component. This component is only there to inject the whole HTML code will be generated by the dialog box later. So when that is done, I can come back to the register page, and I just need to inject iDialog services. So I have there a dialog service included. And so I can go to my save method, my valid handler async method. This method is called by the button. Where is it? The button is there. So I don't, where is the...
No, it's on the edit form.
In the edit form, yes, sorry. In the edit form, you have that, yes, on valid submit. And so the valid handler async method is there. And so I can say, okay, I would like to call the dialog service and call the show info async method using this simple message. If I run this code, of course, when the user click on the create account button, automatically the dialog box is displayed there with the simple message. But that will be also interesting to have the possibility to include a more detailed message or a more detailed dialog box with extra feature like, I don't know, a field, new field with an external link or something like that. So it's also possible, of course. The only thing is I need to comment this part and to use another method, not to use the show info async method, but in this case, I would like to use the show dialog async method. And I can set the account created dialog object. That is another Razor page. The page is there. That's a classic Razor file, except I added the implementation of the iDialog content component. And in this case, that's possible to specify a header for the dialog box. For example, there, I would like to display an icon, a person add icon. I would like also to display a label containing the title and also a footer. The footer is there with a button, with a close button. And when the user click on this button, the close button, the save async method will be called, and the method will be automatically called the dialog.closeAsync method to close, of course, close the dialog. And you have also the possibility to include in the body another title, a subtitle, and of course the description of your component or the type of text field or the type of component you would like to add there. So if I run this part, I can come back to the same register field, and if I click on the create account, you have now, of course, the new detailed dialog box with many features available there. So that will be interesting like that, but maybe maybe that will be better if we, in this case, in fact, if we don't display a dialog box, maybe something better. What do you think, Vincent?
Yeah, I think that's definitely an option. One of the things that I would kind of do perhaps here is not force the user to do something. So maybe we can use a toast message, for example, and have that display a success message and then automatically disappear.
To go to the Vincent screen? Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And to enable those toast messages, that's functionality that's already built into the library. So we have to go to the same main layout page where Denis was before, but now besides the Fluent Dialog provider, we need to add the Fluent Toast provider, and again indicating to the library, hey, this is the place where you need to insert any markup code that comes out of running this component. Then next we go to the registration form, and we inject well, we don't actually need the dialog service anymore, but it doesn't hurt that it's there. But we also now inject the toast service. So that's the actual service that is going to display your message. And finally, inside the code, we just say, no, we don't want to use this confirmation anymore. So we comment that out. And now we say to the toast service, show a success message once this account has been created. And standard settings for the toast service make it disappear after a couple of seconds, but those things are, of course, all configurable. So let's go to the form again and say that I want to create this account. And you see automatically now the toast message appearing that the account has been successfully created. I can click on it to close it, but also it will automatically disappear after that set period of time. And now it's displayed in the upper right hand, but you can also configure it to go to the lower bottom corner or wherever you want on the screen. So yeah, that's basically what we wanted to show you for building this demo site. You can see that it's a fairly complete representation of what you get with the standard demo. This is all available in V4, and I think it's also good to mention, Denis, that everything that we showed today, or almost everything, is also available in the V3 version of the library, which has been available already. We choose to have V4 only for .NET 8, and that's why we focused on that today. But if you're using .NET 6 or 7, you can just as well use the V3 library, which we try to keep up to date with each other.
Yeah, exactly. Can you switch to my screen? That's the last time. Yeah, thank you. So yes, you will find the whole documentation, the whole information about that, how to migrate from the previous version 3 to the version 4, for example. And you have also the whole list of components available in this version 4 of the library there on the Fluent UI-Blazor.net. So we quickly created an application including a counter, a data grid, a team management, registration form. And we did it all using the Fluent UI guideline, of course. So you can find the library, the documentation, and all this demo via this link or by scanning this QR code also. So thank you for watching.
Awesome. Great session. And we have some questions in the chat. I got so excited and learned a lot in this session too. We still have 5 minutes. I think we can at least go through 2-3 questions. So we have one question from Patrick. Is Fluent UI compatible with MVVM pattern?
Yeah. Yes, of course. You can use in fact, the Fluent UI, the Fluent UI library is more the design. It's about to create, of course, the design, like you say there. But yes, you can use MVVM pattern, or you can use other type of pattern to manage the content or manage the data behind the whole components. So yes, it's possible to do that.
Yeah,
Awesome.
we're opinionated on how it looks, but not necessarily on how it's being used.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. So the next question is about any plans to add chart component.
Well, I already mentioned the .NET Aspire and the dashboard. There is some charting capabilities in there, which are not part of the library right now. But yeah, for the future, we could look at on how we could integrate that into the library and make it more Blazor-like, because now it's just more of a JavaScript library that's being run side by side with the library.
Depending maybe of the number of requests we receive later, I don't know. But yes,
yeah.
Why not?
So create more issues if you want chart components.
Exactly.
So that it will be prioritized maybe in the future. So we have one more question from Amal. Basically, the question about Fluent UI being available as a web library like Bootstrap, so it can be used in a place like Razor Pages. There were also questions about what kind of Microsoft products Fluent UI is used for. For example, I know that we use Blazor components in Teams Toolkit templates. But if you can give a couple of examples, like what are the other templates we are using Blazor components, I think it would be so useful.
Yeah, so this library is specifically for Blazor applications. So having that Fluent design system in Blazor applications. There's also other implementations of the Fluent design system with other technologies, Microsoft technologies and non-Microsoft technologies like React, for example. So we have a big Fluent UI React library, which is also being used on internal and external projects. So it kind of depends on what you're trying to achieve. But I think it's pretty safe to say that there's always a Fluent UI implementation that fits your technology stack. For specifically, like I said, this library, we choose to use that with Blazor. So my guess is that this is not going to be successfully, you will not be able to successfully use this in a pure Razor Pages site because we're missing the parts of the infrastructure that we have on Blazor.
Okay, so there are a lot of questions if Fluent UI is available for ASP.NET MVC, or if we can use it with XAML. Do you have also comments about that?
For this library, as it's Blazor, it can also be used with a Blazor hybrid. We have done tests with that. There's a couple of gotchas there, but they are all called out in the README files. But yeah, using it with Blazor hybrid is definitely possible. If you would want to go like the more mobile native way, then yeah, don't use this, but see what other options there are available. Well, I don't have one on the top of my head. Do you know one, Dennis, on using it actually with native mobile applications?
No, except using like you say no, using the Blazor project in this mode in MAUI, for example, that will be possible. But I don't think using XAML, for example, no, or something like that, no. You have the list of available framework and available Fluent UI framework available in the website, so you can go to the Fluent UI website and you'll find that. Yeah.
Great, that was awesome session. Back to back. I love the flow, how you built the app from scratch together, back to back. So that was really inspiring. Thank you so much, Dennis and Vincent. Thanks for joining .NET Conf.
Thank you.
Thank you.